to my channel. I'm not gonna do all of the antics today. I'm not gonna do the intro, as you guys saw. I'm not doing the whole lighting and setup today. I really just wanted to talk to you guys today about what is going on, about the lighting. I am using natural lighting and I am in a car. So if it changes a little bit, that's why I am using natural lighting. But I want to start off this video by sending my condolences to the lost innocent loved ones to police brutality. Praying for your family and doing as much as I can to support you and your businesses. First, I have some points down here because I wanted to touch on some key points amidst everything that is going on right now. I wanted to touch on some key points. And I want to preface this video by saying that I was raised, and I've always been, and I was told to always speak my mind and to speak up against what was wrong. And I thank my parents for raising me in that way. And I have such amazing, learned parents. Continue to use my platform, and I will always use my platform to speak for what is right, to speak against what is wrong. And I have been posting on my social media, as well as a lot of other people, a lot of other individuals. And I know not everyone follows me on my social media, and that is why I think it is so important that I put this on YouTube, because that is who I am. That is who I am as a person. That is what I support, is the right thing. And I'm going to continue to share that. I don't care if I have 1 subscriber or 0 subscribers. I will continue to speak my mind and use my voice to stand up for what is right. Black lives matter. You family matters. Your friends matter. Black lives matter. I've been seeing a lot of people saying all lives matter, more than others, and I don't know if you guys are all right, but no one is saying that no other life matters. But people are saying that for a long time, Black lives have not mattered. For hundreds of years, Black lives have not mattered. People are being killed. Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, a little boy, playing outside with a toy gun. People have been killed and people have lost loved ones, all because they are Black and they were innocent. All because they're Black and they were racially profiled. Privilege. I know you guys have heard the plate analogy probably, where everyone goes out to eat, everyone has a plate, but Jimmy doesn't have a plate, and he says, guys, I don't have my food. And everyone's like, well, all of our foods matter. I'm not going to put this all in there. But all lives don't matter until Black lives matter. And for a long time, they haven't mattered. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have been hearing the term white privilege going on and don't understand exactly what it is, maybe. And you need to do your research. I'm not going to sit here and explain everything, but just a brief explanation as to what white privilege is, or privilege in general. What it looks like is not being pulled over because you look suspicious when you weren't doing anything suspicious, all because your skin is dark and you are a person of color or Black. Privilege looks like being let off the hook by police and not pulled out of your car or beaten to the ground, or you having brutal force being used on you because you are simply stating that you didn't do anything wrong. And because you grew up in that sense, you may not know that. And I'm not saying that because you have privilege means that your life is all amazing and daisy and rosy. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you have privilege because of racism. Racism has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Racism is through generations. It is taught and it is systematic. That's what people need to understand. Racism is like a sore, it's like a tumor that has grown for hundreds and hundreds of years. And I hear people say all the time, oh, well, slavery ended like back in the 50s, you know what I mean? Oh, that's people were being lynched then, and people didn't have rights to vote then. We're no longer racist. That's not true. It is systematic, it is generationally taught, and it is a sore and a tumor that, or a cyst that keeps growing. And you have to understand that just cutting that off doesn't mean that it's done. These need treatments. When you have a sore, when you have a tumor, when you have a wound, they need treatments, especially that big for that long. They need treatments in order to heal. It is not going to be done overnight. And that's something that people need to understand. It is systematic and it is generational and it's taught. And we are all humans. That is the number one thing you need to understand, is we all are humans. Brown, it doesn't matter if you're white, it doesn't matter what color you are a human being. When a deer looks at you and runs away, it doesn't see a black person, it doesn't see a white person, it doesn't see an Asian person, it doesn't see that, it sees a human and it runs. Do you understand what I'm saying? We are all humans, and people need to understand that. Next thing I wanted to talk about is, this goes for everyone. Listening is the key. You have to listen. When you understand what people are saying, when you understand what the uproar is about, when you understand what is happening, you listen. And, I know we all have heard this before. You have 2 ears. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen. That is why we have ears. You need to understand what's going on around you so that you can communicate effectively. Once you've listened, you have now learned something. And once you've learned something, you will further go and research and understand exactly what is going on. And once you've understood, now you know how to act. Once you understand, you know how to act appropriately. And that is the key. It even says in the Bible, I know some of you are not religious, but it says people perish. You have to understand. It is common sense. If you are in the wilderness and you see a tree and you don't know that that tree is poisonous and you decide to eat it, you can die from that, all because you didn't have knowledge. And this stems into everything. You need to understand what is going on, and understanding is key because you know how to act appropriately. Goes as far as voting. I know right now we're doing the primaries and you need to vote. I think it is so important for people to vote, especially my people of color and my African Americans. It's so important to vote because once you vote, you are electing who is going to represent you and your family and your community and your needs and listen to you. And I'm not talking about listening to people who are saying, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. That is not what I'm talking about. You need to educate yourself on what is going on and who these people are that are running. You need to not only look at their campaigns and what they're saying, but here's the thing. People will say whatever they want and whatever they need to say in order to get what they want. Is always been a thing. You know how kids will be like, oh, I'll promise I'll be good if you do that, I'll promise I'll be good, and then they'll get their candy or whatever it is and they go back to being bad. It's because they have learned that when you tell people what they want to hear, you're going to get what you want. And that is what a lot of these officials and politicians are doing. And you need to understand who these people are, and that means doing your research. You need to sit down and take time. Okay, what is this person saying? What has this, not only is this person saying, but what has this person done in their career, in their past? Because I can tell you right now, you are more likely to know what I'm going to do based on my actions and my prior actions than what I say. Because actions speak louder than words. It is so important and so imperative that you vote. Not only is it important to elect who represents you and your family, but also for the fact that our ancestors have died and fought for the right to vote. It's so disrespectful. It is so disrespectful. It's obviously of importance that people have lost their lives and fought for it. And you have decided not to go vote. Crazy that people have fought and lost their lives for their children and their children's children to vote. It is important to vote. It is so important. It is so important to take action during this time. Like I said, once you listen and you learn, then you know how to act appropriately. And going out to vote is an action that you can take. And there's so many actions that you can take. And I will put down in the description box below. It's going to be chock full of information, of places you can go and support, things that you can do. It's all going to be down there. But action is so important. You need to take action and you need to take steps to get to where you want to go. But most importantly is an action with objective. You cannot just go out here silly-nilly and doing the craziest things without having an objective. What is it that you want? What is the end goal? What are we fighting for? That is so important, so imperative that everyone in this movement knows. And I'm going to talk about the looting, which I know is a very sensitive subject for a lot of people. And I'm not to make myself clear, I am not saying who is right or who is wrong by any means. I am saying I can understand both sides of the coin. Peaceful protest, and that is, 100% true. I honestly think protesting peacefully is an amazing thing, and it's been happening a lot, and it's so heartwarming to see. People are tired. People are exhausted. People are hurting. And people who are out here rioting may not even be a person of color, may not even be black, may just come from a place that is hurting, may be tired and frustrated. And that goes for all the people that are rioting. It is tiring because people were tear gassed, people were shot with rubber bullets and run over by police cars and beaten to the ground because they were peaceful. So people are saying, okay, if I'm being peaceful and no one's listening, then we need to shake something. Because I understand what people are saying. Like I said, I'm not saying this is right. But think about it. A parent will tell a child, don't do this. And the child continues to do it. And you tell them, don't do it. And you're peacefully telling the child, do not do this. And the child just continues to do what they're doing because they know you're not, it doesn't matter. You saying something lightly and politely doesn't matter. But when you ground the child, or when you take something from the child and it shakes the child not understands that, okay, mom or dad means business. I am not going to do this anymore. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a shaking for people to wake up and to understand. I'm not saying it is right. I'm not saying it is wrong again. I'm going to keep prefacing that. It's really heartbreaking to see all of these businesses that people have worked so hard, especially black-owned businesses, be burned down to the ground and be looted. It is extremely heartbreaking. And my heart goes out to their businesses. And I understand why people are heartbroken and hurting, because these are lives. These are human lives that are being taken away. And it is sickening. You talk about the news. A lot going on with the news, portraying, showing the nice things when it comes to, for example, cops kneeling with protesters and having civil conversations. And then I also see the flip side, when it is the people who are protesting, they show the riots. They don't show the peaceful walks, the peaceful marches, the unison, the unity. They don't show that. A lot of the time, they don't show that. And that is a huge, huge problem for me. And I want people to understand that that is how our news works. Our news is controlled. I know a lot of people don't understand that, and people may think that's a conspiracy. That is 100% true, that our news is controlled. Certain things are shown. I saw a video, I probably will try and link that down below, where, cops ran over a group of protesters, peaceful protesters, and, the news cut it out right before they ran over the individuals. And you are shown bits and pieces of what is true. And that is why it is amazing that we have the internet and social media, so that we know exactly what is happening. People who are there in real time are, videoing these things and sharing that information, so you can understand that, because the news is primed in a certain way, so that it is presented to you in a certain way, so you see things in a certain way, because what you see is what you believe, what you hear is what you believe. But if you don't do that further investigation and that understanding, and these truths are not brought to light, you will never know that. And that is why I'm really, really pushing for everyone to continue to post, to continue to share what is going on, because it's important for people to understand that. Now, another thing is, the news is not showing as much of the peaceful protests. They are showing the looting, they are showing the burning, they are showing all of that. And like I said, the news is made a certain way for you to believe things. And I have a very inkling, a feeling that, because people are confused. Why is it that police are tear gassing people who are just speaking, people who are expressing their rights, their constitutional rights, that are just speaking, are being pulled down to the ground and maced at point blank right in the face? People who are being tear gassed, which I believe is banned in some wars, I believe, that are peacefully protesting. People that are being tear gassed and shot with rubber bullets and run over and beaten with batons. And people are like, what is going on? People are just peacefully protesting. I think that inciting this violence, I honestly have a feeling that they really have been wanting for a while to put out martial law. And I have a really bad feeling that may be the case. Because that is how they portray it. They say there is chaos roaming the streets. We need to bring order. That is what they always say. Order. We have to bring order. Now, the crazy thing is, people are dying. There is a pandemic going on. And all these important bills and things have been passed, and they're not getting as much media coverage. People who are dying, it's not getting, some people are not getting media coverage. And it is insane, because it's like, okay, they're just showing the looting. They're not showing what we're here for, the peaceful protest, the donations, the posting, and everything. They're not showing any of that. They're not showing any of that. They're showing the chaos, because that gives them a reason to bring order. That gives them a reason to bring martial law. That gives them a reason to incite violence. That gives them a reason to use brutality. Like I said, I can go on and on. I've been seeing a lot of individuals that I have went to school with, that have called themselves my so-called friends or acquaintances, and I don't see them posting anything. I don't see them spreading any information. I don't see them protests or marches or making any signs. I don't see them checking up on others or me and checking if we're okay. And this has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with your character. Your silence during these times is so astronomically loud. You will never know. Is to side with the oppressor. And that is the truth. If I walk by on the sidewalk and I see a fellow woman being sexually assaulted and I don't say anything, I am condoning that behavior 100%, and I don't care. It's disgusting how some of them have not said a single word, have continued to post their little selfies and their little boyfriends and their little whatever it may be in their own little bubble. And the thing is, I see that. I see all of that. And if you are one of those people, by all means, please unsubscribe to my channel. Please unfollow me on every social media account. I cannot be associated with someone that is okay and that does not speak up against an innocent black person being murdered. Anyone innocent being murdered. I cannot, so that you guys can see me. It was a little dark back there. Like I was saying, I cannot be associated or friends with someone who is okay with any innocent person's murder. Just because it doesn't affect you doesn't mean that it's right. And I know some people are saying, I'm not black, I'm not a person of color, I don't want to get in the middle of it, it's not my fight to fight. And that is not true. This is a fight for humanity. This is a fight for human life. It has everything to do with being a human and knowing right from wrong. If you know right from wrong, join. This is a movement. This is a moment in history. We're living through a pandemic and we're living through a movement. Just as, what happened back in the day with slavery, our ancestors and our great-grandparents and our great-great-great-grandparents all fought for what we believe in, for freedom. Everyone here is a human, and that is what we're fighting for. You cannot be silent. Like I said, being silent is to side with the oppressor. It is important and it is imperative for you to take action. If you are a human, if you cannot do that, I do not consider you a human, and I do not consider you my friend. I don't or point fingers, but if those of you who are fans of Marvel or have a favorite superhero, or always said, I wish I had a superpower, I wish I was powerful, I wish I had this, that, and the third. This is your time to be a superhero. This is your time to stick up for people when others are wrong. This is your time to be powerful and to say, no, this is not right. I'm not going to condone this. This is wrong. This needs to change. You can be that superhero. This is history in the making, whether you want to believe it or not. And you get to choose how you're going to be remembered. You get to choose what you are going to do for humanity. When your children and your children's children learn about this in school, will your name be mentioned in one of those who made a change, as one of those who made a change? Will your name be mentioned as a person who stood up to what was wrong? Will your name be mentioned as a person who sought justice for someone who was senselessly and wrongly murdered? Will your name be in history? I don't understand how people are afraid to post, because there are people back in the day during the Holocaust, Schindler's List, you guys all are familiar with that. Even other people who helped those that were being oppressed. They are the true superheroes that we remember in history. They were helping those that were people that were being oppressed, and they had their lives on the line. And what you have on the line is your followers. All you have to do is post and stand up to what is wrong. All you have to do is donate, if you can, to these organizations. All you have to do is spread the word and share information, and you're afraid. And there are people who have put their lives on the line to do what is right. To condemn you. We all feel fear. That is part of being human. What should be done is, once you feel that fear, you have to overcome it. Once you know what is wrong, you have to overcome it and you have to correct it. And that is what needs to be done. I can go on about this for ages. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are frustrated and tired, and so am I. And I think it is important, obviously, to take a break. There is so much information that is being shared to us, even being dug up from past incidents, that is coming to light, and it is really, really hard to watch, to listen to share. It is really hard, and it is emotionally taxing. I encourage everyone to take a break from the news and from social media and just kind of have a moment to yourself. But taking a break doesn't mean completely avoiding or ignoring the issue. There is an issue at hand, and it needs to be taken care of, and taken care of thoroughly, to be honest. It needs to be taken care of thoroughly. So please do retract from the news every once in a while. Please do take a break. But don't ignore, don't push to the side, and deal with the issue. A lot of people do that. They run away from their issues, and they don't want to deal with it because it's uncomfortable, because it's scary, because it's emotionally taxing, because it requires you to think, whatever it may be. This is not the time for it, because we are dealing with human lives. So like I said, continue to post, continue to do what you can. I, from now on, want to start shouting out Black businesses. If you have a Black business Black-owned business that you are owning, that you are trying to get off the ground, please send me your information. I will be putting them in my videos, on my social media. If you have a YouTube channel, if whatever the case may be, in any way that I can help and give back to my community and to the community in general, let me know. Send me your products. I will show them. I will, whatever you want me to do. I want to be a voice, and I want to be a person who is going to share what is wrong, what is right, like I was raised to do, like I have always known was right to do. I encourage you guys to share love, to spread love, to share information. Just posting a black square isn't going to do anything. Just saying Black Lives Matter and putting your fist up in the air and taking a picture of it isn't going to do anything. Where's the real activism? It is not enough to be not racist. You have to be anti-racist. And I'm not just talking about racism against black people or people of color. I'm talking about racism against everyone. Racism against Asian persons. Racism against people that are Indian. Racism against people that are Native American. Racism against any group of people. This should not be going on, because at the end of the day, we all bleed the same blood. At the end of the day, we are all human. And it is not a trend. This is history in the making, because it is the end and it is enough. These are human lives, in case you guys didn't know, in case you guys didn't understand. This could be your loved one. This could be your father. This could be your uncle, your brother, your sister, your mother, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife. This could be your friend. This could be someone that you know. This could even well be you. Granted, change will not come overnight. It will be a slow and painful process. And with any change, there will be people who do not want that. But I am encouraging you to continue to share your voice, whether you have 1 subscriber, 1 million subscribers, to share your voice on this platform, on other social media sites and platforms, to get people involved, to vote. And yeah. I just want to say their names real quick, just a few. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, just to name a few. Please rest in peace. And we pray that this will bring about peace and change. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please continue to support, share the word, share information, and I love you guys.